Happy day after the 4th of July. Happy 5th of July. This is Jason here, and what if I told you that Dashers and Eats drivers are not the only ones who get exploited by the apps? In fact, they exploit everyone. Let me explain. The apps, as you probably have already seen from some other videos on some other places, they charge customers very exorbitant fees. That's why I don't use them anymore. I haven't used a delivery app in years, and so they charge exorbitant fees to have your food delivered to your house, several dollars, and that doesn't even include the tip, which is why a lot of customers either don't tip or tip light. It's because they're already being charged the fees, and they believe that the drivers get the fees. We do not, of course, and so drivers are exploited, customers are exploited, but then there's the restaurants themselves. And I found this out while doing some research on possibly setting up my own type of business in this regard. Of course, I don't have the capital to develop an app, but I did find information on what these apps charge the restaurants to be part of their platform. They charge anywhere between 30 and 40% of the actual gross on the delivery. So however much they charge, let's say it's a $20 dinner that's getting delivered, they're charging anywhere between $3 and $4 to the restaurant for that delivery. Then on top of that, you also have marketing fees, which are being charged to the restaurants on a monthly basis. Again, usually based on what the typical revenue is in a particular month. It's up to 10% of their monthly revenue that gets charged to them as a marketing fee for even having access to the platform at all. This includes even their carryout orders, by the way. So carryout orders are charged up to, around 10% of the gross revenue just for using the platform to begin with. That's on top of any delivery charges on orders that they charge the restaurants. So everyone is getting bombarded by this. Now, what do I think this means for the future? Well, there's a couple different ways that this could shake out. During the pandemic, these apps had pricing power because these restaurants needed this tool just for mere survival in 2021 and 2022. Fast forward to now, and most restaurants are fully recovered, and they don't even prioritize their orders. They probably, if they're losing money on their delivery orders, it's likely that they're being deprioritized for that reason. Which is why you're waiting 20 minutes to half an hour for a delivery order to come out. They're not the priority because the money makers right now are the ones in the building. So the customers that are in the dining room, the customers that are in at the bar, they are a priority at the moment. We are not. And obviously, if you're making money off of your in-house business, but losing money on the deliveries, I know which one I'd prioritize. And so you need to understand that everybody's getting exploited here, not just us. And at some point, I think there will be a pricing revolt of some sort. Customers are going to find it too expensive. They're going to make the same decision I did and not use the service anymore and go get it themselves. Unfortunately, they're paying at 10% on my orders because a lot of times I order through the app for my carryouts. Now, I'm going to add the example of one Asian restaurant in the zone to our immediate north. I live in Forest Lake, Minnesota. This is the Wyoming zone I'm talking about. We had an Asian restaurant just completely dump the app recently. You can't order Uber Eats and you can't order DoorDash through them anymore at all, including their carryout orders. And I'll tell you why I believe that is. Most Asian restaurants in this particular immediate zone do not subscribe to the apps. They don't need it. They probably have enough of a reputation where they can generate enough carryout and dining business on their own, and they tend to. One of which I think is probably in our zone to the immediate south, the city of Hugo might be dumping the third-party apps in fairly short order. And I've ordered from them regularly as well myself, particularly when I have deliveries that take me south of here. I don't think they can. They certainly do not prioritize our orders at this point. They absolutely prioritize their dine-in business. This is the place to the south in Hugo that prioritizes their dine-in business and their call-in business. They have a call-in business as well, where they will take their carryout orders the old-fashioned way by good old telephone. Write it down, punch up the ticket in their POS point-of-sale system, and cook to order that way. So a lot of times the old-fashioned system saves them money as well. And if they can generate enough business that way, in addition to their dining business, which this place does a pretty good amount of, they won't need to pay the exorbitant fees anymore that they pay to DoorDash or Uber Eats. I believe this day for them is coming. Right now, they are the only Asian restaurant in this immediate market that has third-party delivery. The one to our immediate north in Wyoming recently dropped the third-party apps about a month ago. Again, another market change that we probably need to be paying attention to. Again, it doesn't affect me very much because I generally don't operate in the Wyoming market for pickup purposes. I do drop-offs there, but now my odds of getting a turnaround trip back south, not that I was getting any to begin with, but your odds of getting a turnaround trip back south, because DoorDash will try to, if you get a delivery outside your zone, they will try to get one coming back into your zone. But this is, again, a rural, semi-rural, ex-urban market. That is not very common for them to be successful in doing so for you. So once you go outside your market, you have to, calculate your mileage times 2 based on the offer, because you know you're spending that much money and miles to return. It's guaranteed, especially if you live in the market that you're operating out of. So there it is. What if I told you the apps are exploiting everyone financially? Now, at some point, there may be a point where drone delivery comes into play. Drivers are now no longer used. But I bet you that anything that'll still exploit the restaurants on their end, and the customers will be charged a drone fee, if you will. So that's it for now. Again, the apps exploit everyone, not just us. You folks have a great rest of the weekend. As usual, peace out, homies.